and welcome. I'm Nick, and welcome to... No! The camera froze immediately. That's incredible. Oh, why does this keep happening? Hi, I'm back. Oh, I forgot to turn my light on too. Oh boy. Hey, just so you know, uh... like... Oh yeah, there's that brightness we all know and love. Hi, I'm Nick. Hello, and welcome to... This is going to be some kind of art stream. I forgot to toot about it going live. That was the one thing I was going to do before I hit live. I'm very tired, but it's Wednesday, so we're here, we're streaming. I'm going to try to get some art stuff done, but also maybe this is just a chillin' kind of day. Oh, I know something else I forgot to start. I'm just going to... That should work itself out, maybe? Why is my head so close to the thing? Let's see here. I give myself a little more headroom. Hi. There's that noggin. That's fine. And now that's going to auto-connect. I forgot I got captions set up too, so hopefully those will be working nicely. There I am. Got the stream avatar set up, so hopefully if you want to just hang out, be on the stream, play some basketball. I hear sometimes you play basketball in a time like this, but yeah, that's this is kind of what we're in for today, because this is kind of all I have the brain to do. Hi Roo. I'm going to turn that microphone up a little bit because I am speaking quietly. Music. Everyone Kirby. I reset it. Now everyone has to be Kirby. Kirby only run. Music. I want to set up some music. Take me to the place on YouTube where the music I'm allowed to play is. Music that won't send me to jail. What's it called? I do it. This button? Yeah, that button seems right. Audio library. That's the button. Well, we'll see how this works in terms of getting me whatever or not. Let's pick a genre. What kind of genre do we like? Hip hop and rap. But I'm going to search for ambient. Contains ambient and the genre is hip hop and rap. Give me that ambient. Oh, this one's called Submarine. 2 tracks appeared. Okay, I'm hearing that. I don't think you're hearing that yet. Sorry, I feel like I gotta keep talking, but here we go. Now you should be hearing the hip-hop ambient track that came up when I put that search term in. I'll leave that down there a little bit. Okay. What am I doing? What do we do? What are any of us? 5 miles of Cuban waters. No. Okay, let me show you what I'm looking at. Also, I love this. I have a new piece of technology. I have my control panel over here. Watch. But now as soon as I click into this window and out of OBS, is that gonna freeze my camera? No? Okay. So it only sometimes freezes. Freezing is a sometimes snack for my camera. Somebody hit a trigger fire thing if it freezes again, because I probably won't notice. Here's what we have here. This is a file where I have started laying out the first... How many pages is this? This is the first 34 issues? Episodes? I call them episodes. Of my old webcomic, Aloof, which I've been making since the aughts. I don't remember if it was like 02 or 06. I was probably in middle school at the time, so yeah, that's like 04, 05 maybe. That's a long time ago. So I'm going back to the very beginning. Okay. The sound wasn't on this one as well. Hang on. There you go. Now you still have that noise. I still have that noise. I gotta turn down on my own ears. I need something chiller than this. Just show me what is in the ambient genre and mood. Calm. Can I get some calm ambient? Let's go by duration. Feed me your longest tracks. This one is called Almost an F. Okay. So, here's what I started doing. I took some of the earliest pages and I am just sort of mushing them into format. Right? So if I take this and I put this over here, that's what this initial comic looked like. And I'm like, okay, I need to make that fit on a page. How do we do that? Even like that? I don't even like that. So a lot of what this is becoming is I'm just taking these old pages and I am adjusting them. There's a part of me that is, of course, tempted to like totally rewrite everything, but no, some things about the past. It is a skill to recognize that which you cringe over because it is actually awful, and that which you cringe over is simply because you were a different person back then. And now the camera crashes. Okay. Let me try something real quick. If I... No. This one. Give me this. Right? I'll put it here. And I'll put it... Yeah, here. I go like this. Now I just do that. Is that actually going to be any better? Is that going to... I don't want to say fix my problem, because fix isn't... Maybe that's going to keep it more awake. We'll see. We'll see. So part of this is also... Let's see here. Is this... Yeah, no. Gosh, did I even not actually remember to put like episode titles way back when? Because I should do that. I don't want... I do kind of wish that I could like doodle right here in InDesign, but I can't. I don't think I have a good way of doing that. But what can I do? All right, let's get rid of this, right? Let's get rid of this. I want to put this up here. Wait, do what? Okay, so I have already adjusted this so that page titles can be up here? Is that why I did it that way? Wait, why is this like this? I started setting this up probably near the end of last year when I had, right after I reached 100 pages, and I was like, that's my checkpoint for moving into making it a book. That's decaf coffee, by the way, so I'm not going to pick up at any point during this, so there is an element of this which is just like, yeah, I'm going to do this for, I don't know, an hour or two. No, I need this one. That's the one I need. I need something. How about this one? How about this one? How about not calm? How about ambient? That is funky. Give me that funky ambient. There we go. Okay, camera still hasn't frozen. Okay, you know what? Okay. So we want to go down the street before crossing the alley, right? I only need like this much. We'll put... I should do like thirds. How do I make sure I have that same gutter? By making a little gutter measuring stick. Of course, obviously. Just click that to there, click that to there. Hey, what is this? That is 1/8 of an inch. Great. I'll leave that over there. Surprised I don't have 1/8 of an inch square overall. Let's talk about... Whoa. No, I wanted you to be a text box. Right, because if the idea here is... Whoops. I also don't know what all the episode titles are. A lot of them I only put in as I was uploading them to the website, so I'm going to start doing that. Here's what we're going to look at, though, right? Take everything, if we line it up, it's justified sort of quarter to quarter like that. I want to drop it to the bottom, and then this one? No, that's text wrap. No, yeah, text wrap. I want to bring it in from the bottom a little But no, that's for text trap going around it. Never mind, not that. Is there something here in paragraph? Not this one. Because that's after. This is before, so I can make it worse. Maybe I do just want to do it in here and just, you know, raise it. Because you want the, what do you call it? Is that the descendant? You don't want that touching it? But if I do it like that, then when I go and I copy and paste this to all the pages, it'll be very consistent. Because then, like, same thing. You come over here, stick it there. That'll be 2, and this will just be, I don't know, is this one probably called alarm? So this is also me, like, you can see I was already trying to adjust these. I should stop trying to talk while doing this because I simply cannot. Simply do not have the brain power for. And there needs to be a big crunch somewhere in here. I suppose it doesn't need to be super whatever. This one, I think that one over there, that like that. How am I going to... I really want to try to sketch in a little something here. Because so the reason why this is all in blue is because if you print it in blue and then you ink over the blue, it is very easy to isolate and remove a light blue lines from an otherwise black and white line drawing. So everything that is essentially a sketch layer is going to be in blue, and then I'll ink right over it and it'll be fine. Okay, so now the camera just crashed just because it wanted to? Okay. Now I can just do this and fix it quickly there. Alright, fine. Wonder if it's from me. So, like, it could be like a data rate issue. The fact I'm trying to run 2 of these cameras into the same hub. Because I do have the other one set up and ready to go. Oh, really? Did my app crash? Because if I come over here to desk, this is the other camera. So when I'm actually drawing, I'll do it here. And this camera won't crash for some reason. It is just when I'm on this page and I'm doing stuff on the PC, this camera crashes. I don't know. Too tired to work on it. Okay, how do I sketch into here? How do I sketch into here? How do I sketch into here? An easy way to do it, right? Is to just kind of come to Krita. Oh yeah, let's plug more stuff into this USB hub. That'll definitely not make my problems worse. It's fine, it's fine. Because I do feel like the thing that I want... Right? Color over here like this. I just want to be able to say, like... big can studio lights has sort of barn doors on it. Which is basically what I have staring me in the face to light my seat down here. So, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm blinded by looking at it, I have my own easy reference for it. Funky ambient. But this one would probably be the one that's like attached from the ceiling, right? So we would have this going up there. But also we're looking at it sort of from below, so we want to make sure that we see like the inside of this part of it, which means that'll be angled, and then this comes all the way up, right? Like technically we see the bulb in here, but you won't because it'll be so bright that like everything within here washes out. I did make that pretty big. Right, if I just take this and I say like, boy, where am I going to save that? We're going to save this into, where am I going to save that? I want to save it, let's go over here somewhere, right? Let's go to let's go in there. And that's one. And that's for page 1, panel 1. And we'll do that. And then when we come over here and we'll say, hey, can we drop that in here? It's also still, yep, open here. Let me look at that. And we'll say, I want to fit this in here. Yeah, okay. There's more steps than I would like for this process, but also like do it. You see, when you look at that, do you see enough of what I'm trying to express? I could bring it all the way down here. I could bring it. Ooh, that looks nice actually. Right, so then I'll leave it. We want to push it behind the black lines. That's fine. So the other thing that's going to be nice is that because what? What was I about to say? I'm real tired. Yo, don't get it twisted. Your man is real tired. No, grab the one that you're touching. Dance with the one you brought. I don't like that. I wanna. That might be okay. We'll go with that one. If I don't like it, I'll revise it later. But also, like, again, I don't want to revise all of this too much. I do want to stay honest to what the original pages were. So, like, do the next one. And I'm going to look at, like, okay, I'm going to have a face over here. We're not really going to see the face. It's going to be up there. The face is going to kind of come down here. This will be the face, but we'll kind of just get down here. I'm going to make this worse. Which camera did I just turn off? Okay, I turned off the desk cam. I'll turn it back on later when we're using it. Maybe that'll help. Who knows? If it doesn't help, that'd be even funnier to me. And what is our Disco Ultra Lounge? Bubble Walk. See, this is the thing. It's just like right here, like this is kind of what I'm going for. So like that actually works really well as a sort of a reference. That's not enough fingers. That's going to be in front of a microphone as well. What does a microphone look like? But also specifically, what does the microphone in the other panels look like? Right? It's okay. It's like a round top. So we do want that to be the thing where it's just kind of like a ball. And of course we will cut off that part of the ball. We want like a little bit over there. Don't have like a microphone cord on that one, do I? But like, here's the thing. That's one of the things that I'll put on now. Okay, so actually it'll be like a little bit like this. Then it'll come down into those. I don't like that quite like that. Let's straighten that out. Then kind of come... No, actually we don't usually come in a bit. We kind of... The plug sort of like round off. Then we do that, and then we kind of pull cords down and out. We know who this is. This is Elcom. We don't know that in the comic yet because this character has not been introduced yet. That's kind of what this page is about. It's introducing without introducing. But it's also giving you a sense of his attitude in that he's not taking the time to introduce anything. It's just like, yeah, no, pick it up on the way, bruh. No, because he's wearing... Of course I put him in a long coat for the first one. Actually, it kind of makes sense that he's in a long coat for the first one, because there is a, like... What kind of long coat? I didn't put him in the duster, did I? No, it's just kind of a coat. Oh, but with... God, okay, that's supposed to be... like his arms behind the back... grab, like arms crossed but behind the back, or is that rolled up sleeves? What do I want to make it? Was that all the music? No, that could have been all the music already. Nope, it's just... Okay. I cannot stay focused. Okay, you're like this. I'm gonna finish you here. What is his coat? His coat is like... That comes out, and when it's yourself, right goes over left, right? Because left goes over right when somebody else dressed as you. That's why it's like ladies and corpses get dressed that way or whatever, right? And does the whole screen keep flashing? I can't tell because I'm not looking at OBS all the time. It's already more than I'm going to need for this. Anyway, nope. Turn that off. Save this as 1-2. Come back to this. Dump in. Right. Did it this. Did it this way. No. No. Start blank. 1-2. I'm gonna go here-ish. Now, the nice part is doing it like this, I do get to just sort of crop it, because the thing is I don't want the face showing, so I know it's going to be kind of like this. It'd be pretty good for this to take up the whole panel, kind of like this. So we can continue to crop it over like this, and then... Hey, look at that. That looks a bit like a... Can I make it smaller than that? So make it... I'll slide it over, so that way we still get this sense of there's a lot of negative space. It's not a big thing yet. And we'll send this to the back, to the shadow realm. And I'm gonna call that good for now. Do I want to go? Yeah, I'll go. Let's see here. Go to the website. Look at comics. Look at the first. Yes, episode 1 is called Exposition. That's basically what I have there. Next one is just called Wake. Right, because I think alarm I use for a sense of like a security alarm, not like a clock alarm? Clock alarm? You know what? Ah! What if I got rid of the fist right here, right? Because the idea of like that showing the hitting of the snooze button, right? What if we just didn't need that, right? What if all of these were just a bit smaller too? Because now we have like buzz, 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 and there'll just be a click over here and then back into silence. I gotta make sure all of these keep the right line width, because if I adjust them like this, that actually messes with the line width, the stroke density. That ain't it. Stroke width. I could do this. And then yeah, this in the background, I think that's a pretty good like bit. Because we see the close by, we see the background, we see what's going on. As we shrink these, right? Shrinky dinks. Just click. And whoop, 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 whoop. See, like, I could even do, like, what if I do these in the, like, you know, eye-shaped kind of framing, because then, you know, that's what you do when you're suggesting, you know, eyes halfway open, you're opening your eyes. Could do it like that, but... What the hell is that noise? The cat is scratching. Okay, I thought like fireworks were going off. See, and then it says like that, and it's click. And then we need this negative space to say time is passing, right? And then we immediately do same size. We'll do same image, right? So actually, I don't even need to finish this. This image will be the whole thing. Because in here, indeterminate amounts of time passes in that negative space, you know? Also, like, this whole page is going to have to be kind of color inverted. Or, like, maybe I'll put a corner, you know, line rune edges in there. I thought about what's on his ceiling in his room. Okay, but I think this is what I'm gonna go with. This is enough for now. Do I have more pages? Yeah, I have more. So again, I started to lay this stuff out like it. Find a way to fit this. This used to be one comic or one page. I turned it into two. I think that makes sense. I don't know how this 4 coma is going to fit on one page. Like that's the other reason I need to redo all of these, right? Is just like I don't the technique of the art doesn't necessarily hold up, and I want it more consistent to what I have now. There's a point at which I sort of like hit a plateau and evened out and arrived at something comfortable, which I think is probably, I think the reason why there are 35 pages in this document is because that's about how many I felt it took before I was like, no, it evens out here. But like, yeah, here was like a single strip that was ultimately like 2 pages long, and then here's a 4 coma. I did a totally different art style over here because I was playing. Here I did freaking sprite comics, which listen, I'm sticking by the idea of sprite comics. I'm gonna figure out how to fit those in as sprite comics still, because that part of mixed media I think still works. Kerblamin. Yes, I remember Kerblamin. On Nickelodeon. Nope. See, I think these are all right, but like, do I want to just? I think at this point I was sort of undecided. It's like, do I want to just leave these as is? But they're so. Yeah, I at some point I was like, oh, I could do like animated sprite section. Like, honestly, the thing that I had in mind for it is kind of what Hussey ended up doing with like, what's that shit, Homestuck and whatever else. It's just like, oh, sometimes the comic page will be an animation or whatever. Like, maybe this one is a freaking you know, this one has an audio piece that goes with it. There's going to be a sound background that I could embed into the page because it's the web. It's a rich media environment. I want to put a book on my shelf. That's what makes me feel proud. And also just like I've never had the energy for anything that intense. I don't know if intense is the right word, but see, I was thinking I could put the chat over on the left, but I also think it's funny that it covers my face. Zappin here. This no. This page is called alarm? Nope, it's called authorization. Okay. Oh, pass me my colon butt jokes. But like anatomical. Yay. See, like even with the Sprite comics, I didn't necessarily. God, I hope I have those original PSDs actually, because redoing the lettering for the Sprite comic sections would be somewhere between hilarious and satisfying. But yeah, these 2 pages were 1 page previously. These 3 were 1 page previously. I think that's why some of these are on here, right? It's just because, like, even if I thought the art for these was still fine enough in the sense of, like, I will embrace and archive the quality, because, you know, not only is it the story that it's telling, but it's also the story of, like, my growth as an artist over a very long stretch of time, right? But I think some of the, like, here, once we get over here, I am getting very close to a standardized, like, page size. This one's narrow, because this one, again, it's a joke about, you know, progress over time. There's probably a word for that. It's a progression. This one is still really funny to me, actually. I don't know why I like that. This one, oh, I committed the cardinal sin of using arrows to tell you which way the comic is meant to be read in. That just means I didn't lay it out well. That's something I've learned since. God, the font for the like titles change every page. It's just so, like, okay, so again, definitely, like, up to here, I could start letting this stand on its own. Some of these ones where it was still pure pencil art are the ones that I really want to. Oh boy, that's rough. That's a little rough. That looks like, I think I ran into that dude while I was playing Yume Nikki. You know, that's kind of, some of this art was very. I was trying. You know what? I was trying to hit something between, because, like, that's the thing, right? Like, I grew up on Garfield comics and Calvin and Hobbes, so my, like, sense of what jokes are structured like was kind of that very static, repeated 3-panel sensibilities. But then when I was like, oh, I'll draw something, you know, considering, you know, if I was inspired by webcomics, and the webcomics themselves were probably much more often in, like, there was, like, the divide. There were those who were doing a 3-panel strip, but I obviously wasn't doing a 3-panel strip. I was doing something more, you know, manga, anime styled. I wanted to do more like pages. I wanted to do more than that, but let's say I was doing pages. How do I get the captions to not roll off the bottom of the screen? I'll just bring it down to 1. Let's see if that helps anything. God, like, some of this is so much negative space. I can't, in good conscience, leave that much negative space. The Urban Symphonia. Okay, let's keep funky tracks. But let's go into the genre of dance and electronic. Show me the track URL melt. Oh, an EDM detection mode will come up later. I look forward to that. Okay, I've given myself sort of the goal of 1 or 2 pages a month because I could probably do that. Like normally, you know, when I was making comic pages fresh, I gave myself 1 a month, and I was able to pull that off amongst everything else being, you know, day job and depression being things that eat up a lot of time and energy. But because I don't necessarily have to do full sketching on this, I told myself, let me try and do 1 or 2 a month. So that's why I think maybe these 2 right here. Let's just print these 2 pages. And then we will take it to the literal drawing board. How do I print just 2 pages? Where do I print just? Hey, did I add my printer back since stuff happened? It's going to be, show me pages 2 and 3. Yeah, printer. Oh, yeah, I want portrait. Don't print on both sides. That's what I want. Also, yes, make sure we're printing color. All right, let her fit. Please. Now I get to listen for the printer too. No, thank you. While we're waiting for the printer. Camera hasn't seemed to have crashed since I turned off the other camera. Maybe that's simply the way I'll have to do it on these scenes, is I only get to show one camera at a time and the other one turns off when you're not looking at it, you know? Okay, and the app up here keeps crashing. That's interesting. Do I have like a bunch of apps open? Not really. Old iPad, you know? Use the tech you have. Hey, did something print over there yet? I gotta go see if it printed. All this technology has given me the agita. Okay, I'm gonna bring this down because I don't know even what I'm gonna have to show in order to get this stupid thing to print. I might have to reinstall that vector driver. Oy vey. Okay. Hey, Windows, what do you think is connected to this computer? Huh? Huh? You think that's offline. Why? It's very much online. It's just add it back. Sometimes you just gotta refresh it. Do you like? I cleaned much of my desk off. I can put stuff here now, like treats and junk. Well, it saw that the printer was there, and now it's trying to connect. Don't let Windows manage anything if possible. Oh, I took my headphones off. I can't hear the music. What are we listening to? Yeah, this is still alright. If I'll be really sad if it still can't connect to it. Right, show me the control panel version of what it's connected to my computer. Devices and printers. It's trying to plug in. No, it says it's set up in progress. But I don't know if that's... Oh! Hey, it's finally a printer again. So, because I removed it as a printer, hopefully it deleted that whole like queue as a concept, which means I should be able to go back to InDesign. I'm gonna save the changes I've made for now. Then I'll print it again. All right, VersaLink, one copy. We want pages 2 and 3. Talk to the printer. Tell me. Don't print on both sides. Print in color. Automatically select. Print. Listening for the pitter patter of printing. Yes, it's printing. All right, let me go get that. It printed. Took long enough. Okay. So now that is printed. Well, I still didn't toot about the stream. You know what? It's probably better if people don't see me in this condition anyway. It's fine. Let me disconnect the tablet. It goes back to its cave down here. It lives with my dice. Okay. Danger. Desk. I was going to say that camera's not plugged in anymore. Reconnect the camera. Let's see one camera crash and the other camera be fine. Right. Okay. That's something. Right? Now I just have. I don't want to usually do this. Which if I need to adjust the cropping, I will. I like to work a little bit angled. Can I do it this way? Oops. Don't move it. Yeah, that's as much as you'll let me crop it to? Okay. That's almost even. And now that camera crashed already. Okay. Okay, so what if I just... I'm going to call this scene desk only. And we're going to take this one and remove it. And this one, we're just going to stretch across. Just going to... Oh. Yeah, okay. Right, okay. And also now I can, like, recenter this. That's about where I want it. Yeah, okay. Oh, vey. Oh, come on, Google Cloud captioning. You can figure out oy vey. Hey, there it is. Hmm. Still playing music? Yes, we are. Okay, good. I need tools. I have micron pen. I have fat inking pen. Normally, I would also have, a pencil and an eraser, but we're skipping that step. I will keep the whiteout nearby. Come on, loosen up. Good. That sound doesn't want to be picked up by the mic. That's probably for the better. Okay. Again, who remembers how I do these? If I turn it this way, is that any better? Yeah, okay. All right, that feels okay. As long as my head isn't blocking the frame, we should be okay. Like, I'm just gonna... I know I do fat outlines. And then, I think I do the fat outlines first, and then I come fill in, right? Just to make sure that my silhouettes are looking okay. I'm going to fill in extra little details as I do this. And it's kind of neat because, like, the reason why I start with the fat outlines is that way it's, kind of clear from a distance, which from where the camera watching this is, yes, it is a distance. So it'll be hopefully be proving my point if you can kind of tell what's going on from even that distance. The nice part is because since there's no, pencil in amongst any of this, I'm not smudging the palm of my hand. The side palm? What is the butt of the hand right there? Did I mention I'm tired? I'm so freaking tired. I don't even know what's going on. I've been sleeping earlier lately, and usually when that happens, it makes me worry, like, that I'm sick, because I rarely sleep early. But I don't know. I've been, like, waking up okay. I want to do a frame by frame. No, I'll do it. I'll do a whole page thickness. How about this? I keep looking at the camera, even though the camera's not even turned on right now. I've been okay. It says we've been live for like an hour. Probably do this for another hour, and then it'll be 10 o'clock. Or if somehow I get these pages finished inked before then, because I can do lettering another day, and lettering, I find lettering flies by. That part's not really an issue. for me. Um, that's also because that's all like digital, and that's working with vectors. And I don't know, I built up a skill set with vectors at some point. And this feels pretty good to be doing again. I haven't done any comic work since like August last year. I believe the math said that was when I hit 100 pages. So what happens when you have too many things that you like to work on? It's just like, okay, well, anytime I spend doing a comic, this time I'm not spending on games. And time that I spend working on games, this time that I'm not, writing game reviews or something like that. Sunk cost is a hell of a debilitating concept, at least for me. Don't worry, I know what's going on there. So, and this one, yeah, maybe we only need the little bits of hair and the like the outside of the jacket over here. Right? Here, this will be open to the background. I feel like there should be a tiny speck in here somewhere, right? Like maybe, I don't know, right here. I also feel like maybe because this hand comes up in front of the rest of it, this should like my brain never decides on like a consistent way to like split the parts of the page. It's just like yes, the hand, the fist is in front of the face, and sort of like it is, so it is more of a foreground object, but it's his hand. It is all the one body, right? So shouldn't that be grouped together then? I don't know. I've learned more about how microphone stands work since. Because we just kind of come down. And usually about halfway down, there's like a little twisty lock bit. And then we go the rest of the way down at a thicker width. Like this is what I mean by, using the original as a sketch. Because, like, I don't know, I wasn't terrible with these, I guess. You know? Like, you look at this and, okay, it's hard to pick it up on the camera, but. Get past the light. Nope, way too blown out. But just like, you know, I scanned them at low resolution because I didn't know about that stuff at the time. And it's super messy because it was in pencil. Because I was just like, oh, you just got to get it done there, right? And it's just like, kind of. It's funny, like now looking in here, you can see extra lines that were left in that like didn't erase from my original pencils that well. right. I have to do all of this too. Okay, now where did our music go? All right, once I bring it up and look at it, it goes. All right. I'll just leave you over here, so I'm always looking at you. Can't hide from me. Music player. Boy, how do I do pants like this now? A little bit over here. This is gonna come in. Then we're gonna come out and just sort of up like that, right? And this is gonna come down here, and this is the foot, a bit here, and then the toe comes in, and a bit, and then we're gonna have some of the tongue of the shoe, but also the pant's gonna come down in there, and that's, you understand what that is. Sure, why not? And now this one, which is, I'm gonna have to do the most elaborating, I guess is what you would call it. I just got a shiver. I'm cold sitting down here. Okay. Okay. All right. Interesting. How do I draw Elcom? Oh boy. Okay, it's been a while. Okay. All right. Okay. So usually I start with just like, the part in the hair. And he's looking like right at the audience. So like hair scoops down to the sides. Then we get the longest hair fringes on the sides. Let's skip over to about here because we're going to go a bit wider than this version of the boy. Everyone's favorite boy. So, and we go like this. And kind of just go like this, right? Bring down the arms. We're going to have like a little bit of elbow. Thank you. Oh, you know what? I can put a hoodie across my lap like a blanket. That works. And let's see here. Same thing, but like more likely that the coat is sort of like, or the arms are sort of like, down at angled, right? It's not like you grab directly across at each elbow. And from here, boy, that's already probably too narrow again. Maybe that's fine. So it's gonna be like this. This is gonna kind of drop in. I'm gonna put a like this, and I'll come out, and then I'm hating to say it, but this might not be enough for me to. Well, you know what? Maybe doing it this way is really more of a test page. Because it's just like, yes, I'm elaborating on this, and it's just like, well, maybe I do want it to still be kind of messed up because, that reflects what it was. It's just sort of like more consistency added to what was, messed up about it originally, I guess, maybe. Now I'm probably starting to not make excuses, but just make weird justifications to myself. I don't know where exactly I'm going with this yet, so I need to be kind to myself, I'll always leave room for you to change your mind, because some people do. They change their minds a lot. I'm going to take these. I'm just going to go up with this now because I think that makes sense. I think that would go, but yeah, that'll do. Now, how am I doing these shoes? Okay, so the way I should do these shoes is let's put feet on the ground, not this weird tippy toe something. Let's put feet on the ground. So that's going to be about there and there. Okay. Now, sole, toes, back here, tongue, and pants. Same over here. Sole, toes, over this, tongue, and then pants. Now we can do the back of this, which is going to be like... Okay, that's right. The back of it is going to be kind of hidden by the... Not baggy, they're just like dragging. So that line, if I need to, I can thin that line in post. Yeah, a bit like that, and then this goes about here. Connect those. All right, now that'll connect more about there. That's fine. And yeah, okay. I'm kind of really curious how this is going to turn out, just drawing over it like this, Do I use a micron or do I use the other thin? Let's use the other thin. If I can find the other thin. Let's try this one. Again, lettering, we'll do later. I want to just start over here since this is like the most complex one. Maybe I'll end up making decisions that'll roll back. Well, that one's not going to really do it. This one has more decisions than these have. This one I just kind of have to remember the hanging hair pieces in the front over here. Let's do a little bit of this because I know this will go quick. That I already did. Whoops. But we're gonna go. I totally forgot about the chord of it. Again. That's okay. I can work with that. I can. I promise you. So let's add the chord here. And it kind of just says the one, and then I can do this just over here this way. That is like way too thick a chord, but whatever. Let's revise some of this thickness over here. This is okay, because now to fix this thickness, I can just sort of write on the inside, and that'll thin up the cable. It's what whiteout it's for. That ball rolling? Is this completely dried up? Oh, that got something off of it. Yes, I can feel that ball giving. Oh, yep, now it's on my fingers. Okay, good. Well, at least it's working. So for this side, we want to take out the microphone stand. The wires in front of it towards the camera. And kind of the same up here. These are also like, I kind of just do them in the whiteout as a way to like make sure I keep it clear as I'm working on it, because a lot of times like this, I will absolutely just go in the digital and completely, redo those lines if they're grossing me out. Is that a fair way to describe it? Maybe. Who knows? But now the problem is I did the whiteout over here and it's still wet, and like anywhere else I could work is pretty much going to put the butt of my palm right on that again. So that's fun. Let's do some of this. I can work on this at an angle. Okay, so this goes like this. Here, this comes here. I hope that makes sense. Real, exacting way to do this, right? It's kind of funny because like the way that I play games and I look at games, and even the way I handle a lot of like, I don't just want to call it like psych stuff, but like, the way that I look at processing emotions and people's reactions and stuff, it is always very strict. It's just like, no, we're going to come up with definitions. We're going to stick to definitions, and having those definitions is going to help us keep everything straight. And I come over here and I do art, and I'm just like, I put some lines. I hope they make sense when I'm done. Maybe that's a good thing, right? Maybe this is like the one form of the one break I give myself from that kind of thinking. Maybe. Yep. Drew on my finger. Now I'm an artist. It says it's playing the track Alien Restaurant, but I don't hear it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, sure, that's a light. Like I said, this inside one, we're probably going to... That's it. That's all the line that it gets. We get a hint of the outline of the bulb. This needs a little bit right there, and that's it. That's a light. I need to stop touching that panel. It'll go click, and then we have a hem, then one word bubble, and tiny word bubble. And that's it. Page is done. This is okay. Is it a great page? I wouldn't say that. Is it going to be a page that fits like a page? Yeah. Let's see if I can Reline a little bit of this to hide the fact that I used a bunch of whiteout. I was thinking next time I do one of these, instead of just having the music in the background, I should just find some like public domain movies we can watch. Like House on Haunted Hill, that's public domain, right? Just watch movies directly off of Internet Archive. Okay, so the weird thing about microphone cables like this is they usually have this little like button on it, which is the release. Do I need that there? No. Do I need to put that there because it's in my brain and otherwise my brain wouldn't shut up about it? Yes. On the one hand, our brain is us. On the other hand, we are all withholden to our brains. I'm very tired today. I'll give it this. Even if we just finish inking this page and call it a night, that's more than was done before I started streaming. B, I already have the other page printed, and this is actually kind of relaxing doing this. It's a little nostalgic. It's a little I don't know. It's all right. Like I said, I could put a movie on and just do some of this. Sorry if I'm making gross nasal noises directly into the mic. Not arthritis. Allergies have been, you know, everywhere lately, and I am not necessarily immune. So at some point, it becomes so just commonplace that you don't even realize you're doing it. Commonplace? That doesn't feel right either, but you know what? A lot of things don't feel right. That's darker than what I intended to say, but so the thing is, we wouldn't necessarily see his eyes, but I feel like we would see his glasses right here. And I messed up the angle. It's okay. It's hard to mess it up. And we're going to catch that, we said. Again, the thing I said, make sure that I get these in front of the face because they cover so much of the face and everything that's going to happen in front. But it's just like, no, I know all of the stuff going on behind it. There's flaps of fabric and there's, body parts and all of this. And so I start drawing those and it's like, no, they're blocked, dog. You don't show that part. That part is not seen. And I was just like, but it's there. And this comes over here. Now this comes down. Oh, it's my last reminder to do my Duolingo for the day. Ooh. Yo hablo español un poco. Un poco. Un poquito? I don't remember. But I'm already trying to say a little. Oh, un poco, un poquito. So, un poco, un poquito. That's how you can tell the difference, I guess. Right, that goes there, and then this basically comes here and goes down, and shirt. Then the flap behind the head will go right there. And then this is the sort of latching flap. That's not like a thing that's said. Here, now that I'm looking at it. Over here would maybe be a bit more negative space. Like, is it strictly necessary to mark all that negative space? No. Do I do it because I think it helps? Yes. Hey, this hand is the right hand, right? Like, this is a... Okay. Listen. Shit can happen. Yeah, all that's hidden. All that's hidden. This is... Oh, he's got a freaking ponytail. Gosh, it's been a while since I've drawn the boy. That's fine. It just goes out like that. It's fine. Here's the thing. As long as I get consistent with my line weights enough, when I mess it up, usually it's not that bad. As long as I get it right more often than I get it wrong, you know? So when you're clearing your throat, you kind of need it. Mouth open a bit. And this mouth I fill in. Oh, this mouth? This mouth I fill in. What? I feel like... Do I need to do a bit of this with the lighting? Again, if nothing else, just to remind myself what is happening lighting-wise in that panel, but a little bit helps. See, like, same thing over here now. This... Because then I know where the darkness is and all of that. Let's do that. Yeah, I'm really saving the big one for last. I must be scared of it or something, you know? Okay. Let's see. Is that on screen? Yes, that's on screen. So, like, if I did this okay, then it shouldn't be a big deal to fill in the details like this, right? Yeah, I'm okay with that. Easy. Easy peasy. I just want to write. Because sometimes I like writing letters. Hey, thanks for popping in and saying that. No, listen, trust me, I'm trying to stay awake right here. Yeah, no, hey, hang out. If you fall asleep, don't feel bad about it. This is nice. I'm glad you're here enjoying. I'll erase this bubble in post, but I just wanna. I mean, it helps to really visualize what's going on here, right? I can do it. I can tackle the big frame. Things I've already decided. Let's just start with those. This is hairpiece. I'm pretty sure when I originally did this, the microphone covers the face because then I don't necessarily need to draw the face, right? That would be a great sort of shortcut cheat. Maybe I want to do the microphone first. Let's try and copy around here, right? That's already wider. That's fine. You can fix a lot of sins in post. Listen to me. I was like, I'm George Lucas. I'm forgetting the chord again already. All right. Let's. Okay. Right now, let's try to copy the chord. With any luck, it's just this little bit by the foot that I'll have to edit. But the chord is the foremost thing in the page, so I gotta do that. Chord. Doing long lines like this can feel like disarming a bomb. Like that first stroke is easy. You just put it wherever. And you gotta get it right. You gotta get it good enough, actually. That's fine. That's okay. Yes, I have to thicken a little bit of this. Also, hey, I like this track a lot. This is EDM Detection Mode by Kevin MacLeod. I will add that to that. Maybe this will appear in as a background track of a later video upload to YouTube. Sometimes that's what you do in order to get like a long straight line. You got to draw from the elbow, not from the wrist, you know? Sometimes it's like riding a bike. You got to look where you want to go, because if you look somewhere else, you'll end up going there and driving off the road. And I haven't ridden a bike in a while. I used to like riding my bike. I think if I still had a bike, I would continue to enjoy riding it, but let's say his ponytail would probably be something like this with a little flick to it. So let's just put that there. Put a little bit of action lines on that. Which actually action lines over here to show that he's walking away also makes sense. Put the ponytail. See, normally when I'm doing the ponytail is nice because you can do the rest of it and then be like, all right, there's a ponytail behind there. It's only a problem when you're drawing him from the back. I feel like I have to be even quieter now because there might be people napping and it's like, oh, okay, I'm just going to be pleasant and not wake up anybody. It's nap time. I would love nap time, if I'm being honest. Listen, I know it's like 10:30 at night over here, but I'm ready for nap time. Okay, so what's over here? Oh, it's just to be out to like over here. It's not much better than how skinny I used to draw him. This was like before I knew what body mass was. You know what we can do though? Let's see. I want these to be pointed out. And then we can just sort of let this let this hang more open this time, right? And this is gonna be over here. 3 snaps is good for that. You do want like a little. Oh, this is Skyview Well by the South London Hi-Fi. I also like this track a lot. Okay, how long until I just put on the soundtrack from Bomberman Hero, which is one of my favorite, like, I don't even know if I would call that like an ambient track or what, but okay, your head is this big, your head is this big. That microphone is right on his nose. That's just silly looking. But see, like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, that's silly looking, but it is kind of already better than it originally was, and it's with the line work, it's more consistent to how I do things now, so technically that's better by some technical measurement. That's better. That's a little rough. Like I said, I'm kind of testing waters for myself even here. About like, hey, how rough do I want to go? How much can I actually improve on these? What level of work is going to be necessary before I reach something that I would feel comfortable, you know, putting out, accepting, calling an update? I'm not even sure yet. That's that's better though. Like, is it great? Nah, is it as good as I would do now? I don't think so, but in terms of let's take something and improve upon it, this is like a better iteration of what we started with, you know? And sometimes I just add more details. Right. That is much closer to how I would do these things nowadays. Part of me really wants to go in and just erase all of these sketch lines, but like, no, that's what Photoshop is going to be for. Need to do more like that though. Right, and this is still okay. So I just changed this. I do. It is like a conscious choice to still do the lines by hand because, like I was saying, there's a fair amount that I might try to, rescue or redo in post digitally, but it's like half laziness, half vibes, right? Because when it comes to just, getting a page done and saying, okay, I have done all the steps and I have now achieved, you know, I've achieved lines on page. That means it's done. Like, I feel like I reached that faster working traditionally. I don't fret over every little line as much because I don't have the same level of absolute control that I would have digitally because I don't have clinical OCD, but it definitely runs in my family. So, uh, always a consideration. But, yeah, like it's also a piece of vibe because that is one of the ways that I keep this feeling like how it has always felt, because it's always been sort of a hand drawn. I used to literally draw pages of this on my lunch break in middle school when all I had was a pencil and a notebook, some computer paper. So the idea of keeping a lot of this, keeping that hand drawn element is very, I don't know, it keeps that bit of it. It is part of the young me. It's just like, yeah, no, this is how it is done. This is an element of this comic. It's like that. That's a lazy boy. Isn't that a tautology? Hey, you know what? That looks better. Like looking at it here, I'm like, oh, it's still too skinny. It's still too whatever. But like looking at it up on the screen, that's better. This might actually prove fruitful. Granted, we'll have to see how this looks once I scan it in and redo the colors. Hey, what if I did more of this, of like an art stream over the weekend? How would that go? Because I won't lie, kind of the idea of just like doing this work alone on my own sounds. I think in part because, I'm doing pages that I've already done. I'm doing pages that I did years ago. It's just like, I was done with this. I am wasting time doing these again. These were already done. Um, the idea of like doing them to hang out, to generate content. Ooh, I don't know. It helps keep me motivated. It's like the act of doing it is a productive thing in itself. It's funny because I know there's that idea of like, oh, we all have capitalism brain. The idea that every moment of every day has to be productive is bad, and like, yes, but also like, but also I fear death. And what I mean by that is like, there are things that I would like to accomplish with my time on this earth, and there is like a time management aspect that comes with that. And if I would like to get that stuff done and have a good time doing it, well, if I have a solution to that, then yeah, let's do it. Don't tell myself, oh, let's not do that because it's not capturing the spirit of not being held uh uh to the whatever. You get what I mean. Don't rebel against something because don't do something as a knee jerk reaction, but also don't always rebel against something as a knee jerk reaction. If you like doing it and it's not harming anyone, yeah, just keep doing it. Whatever. Who cares? Step 1, don't harm nobody. Step 2, whatever, man. Thank you for listening to the audiobook of my new Bible. Trying to make it easy. Here, can I uncrop a little bit? Been very in. Nope, that's the bottom of the camera. There you go. That's a page. Here. This page was lined in 124 by NK. Ooh, this pen is... It's only going empty when it's at an angle. Is it really going empty? I have a feeling I am going to be lowering this microphone and drawing the rest of that face in post. And I'll be doing it in post because I'll also have to lower this one. But yeah, this ain't bad here. You know what I want to do? I want to put some... Okay, if you're like that, we can put some lines this way to help suggest, yeah, no, his arms are folding backwards that way. That's one. Do I take the other page? Because I did, if you've been here since the start, we did sort of print out 2 pages ready for. I just licked my microphone by accident because I stuck my tongue out as I was working. Oh, I did not get that lined up correctly. Whoops. Here, this needs a little more, and maybe this one's, maybe this wants to go this way, and this will go like this, and this will go like this, and I can again clean that up later. Like this, we could say, okay, that's realigned. That's not bad. And that went fairly quick. And there's just another one. Okay, but what if this one didn't take that long, though? Hey, you know what? We're here. This one's going to be... I mean, click is like a light switch. What's a good noise for like a button press? Boop? Does it go boop? It kind of goes tick. It kind of goes smoosh. It's like click combined with smush. Clush. Nope. And like a CLIK, it's that little, it makes it sound a little lighter. Click. I'll put the sound over here because I don't want it to interrupt my, that'll be done digitally, so I don't want it to trip our line art. So now we look at this like, okay. I mean, a box with time on the front. See, part of the thing is like, this is based on my actual alarm clock that I've used since I was a child, and I basically really tried to just recreate that, but I don't have to. But I also don't want to design an alarm clock. So let's just ease up on it a bit, right? Just make sure it fits in the box. Make sure we'll put a cord running out the back. We'll remember that early this time. And that's also the thing about it, is like, it's a box. I'm going to give myself a note. Copy. Which is actually a thing that I like, even back in the day, you know, okay, it wasn't the second comic page I made altogether, but like as the second comic page that stayed, this was copy and paste. Very early copy and paste for me. And you know what? I stand by it. And I'll do it again too. Just watch me. Didn't do that quite right. You know what? That's fine. Do I want to change the top of it? Because originally, like, again, the actual clock, the top of it is like this ribbed texture, which I think is partially so some of it is knocked out and it's a speaker grill, and partially because fill a surface with texture. This was before the very Apple everything modern is smooth and, you know, seamless. Instead it was, let's put seams everywhere. I like I like seams in moderation, I guess. Okay, what are we gonna do here? This part is still gonna be, that's gonna be clock face. This part's gonna be radio dial. The bent line is the one that I'll fix in post. How does radio dial look? Radio dial has notes there and there, and line down the middle, and also a vertical line showing you where you are on the dial. Okay. How does clock face work? Also, what time would clock face be? Okay, the point is he's getting up to go to school. We're calling it high school. You know, when I started writing this as a middle schooler, I made him a middle schooler because that's what I know. Now that I've made it through schooling more than enough, like in retrospect, I do want to be like, okay, where's for these characters for the story that I ultimately still want to tell. Okay, they're high schoolers, so it's these things. They're in this sort of environment because that means that A, they have to deal with these themes. B, the set pieces are going to be around. C, whatever. But what do I want? It's a little bit of like, you know, you have the story Bible and that lists every detail. And then at some point you assemble, you just like do the follow through of elaborating on those details. Like, well, if this is true, then that means this is true. And if that's true, that means this is true. And if this is yada yada. Sometimes you just get to decide. What's a good like wake up? It's wake up and go to school. As he gets to school late, he doesn't really get to school late. He's going to be late, but he gets there on time from a gag. So again, there is a logic here. When does high school start? Is that like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock? Do I want to look up average high school start time? No. Let's say it's 8 o'clock because that's still earlier than I want to get up, right? So if it's 8 o'clock and he's gonna be late, but they're taking a shortcut, so it's not like to get there for 8 o'clock, you might normally have to get up at like 7 o'clock. He's probably getting up like 7:30, 7:45, something like that. So, okay. Very careful. All right. Put a 30 and I'll put 7, and there needs to be a dot to let you know that it's AM, not PM. And there. I'll probably make that fancier in post, but it's there. That's also kind of the other part of it is unless I am doing like a full panel copy or something like this, I try to make the page speak for itself. I guess, and also lettering usually. I'll be like, okay, no, this, if you look at this page, you have to understand what's going on. Everything needs to be there. I need to have put it in by hand. There's very little that I want to add later. Like I add a level of shading, I add lines, and I'll do fixes, but I don't want to wholesale add things. And even then, the only reason I really do lettering is because I've been told many times that I have terrible handwriting, which I do because I can have nice handwriting, but it takes way too much effort. So I don't. Okay. So the way this works is you have, so there would be like a little tiny wheel sticking out, but it would be on the broadband. That's not the word. You know what? I could have it on top. That probably makes sense. So what would you have? You would have snooze, and the snooze button up here over the time. I think that makes sense because when it's early in the morning and your eyes aren't really opening, you're not seeing clearly, you go, what is the thing I can see? The display that's lit up, and you just slap at that. Okay, so I am just designing an alarm clock now. Sue me. This is where this is how I win. This is where I have my fun. Um Snooze. Okay, we need like a switch because the switch says, are we on alarm? Are we on alarm? Alarm? Are we on radio alarm? Are we like radio listen, or are we just completely off? And then you need the buttons for like set alarm, right? Down here at the end, this is where I want to have the little disc, which has the notches on it so that it's grippy. And then we'll have like 2 more buttons. And you know what? That's probably good. Could I have made these like deeper? Yeah. It's fine. What am I going to do next? You know what? I do like the idea of, we'll have like the speaker grill fins, but I will do them in the like round. It is round. The cutouts are round to match where the speaker is, kind of style. That's not bad. Then what would go over here? I don't know. So like you would probably, if this is like, plastic, then the case would pop open down around there. Maybe we want to give it little feet that it's sitting on. There you go. Alarm clock. Will I want to put something else there? Maybe. Oh no, you want to know what I like? I like the NES style. It just has like a strip over there. Yeah. Now we're talking. Now this. So this is kind of a lot. Okay. So first thing, we always go in. So okay, this didn't make sense originally. It must have made sense in my head, but in retrospect, nah. Um, because the reason why it looks like it has pieces of tape, because originally it was taped up to the wall. It was here, and then after going off, it was taped to the wall and then had an axe put through it. That's a lot of energy to go through taping it to the wall. That I think by that time you wouldn't be as impulsive to then put the axe through it. But you can tell because here is the handle of the axe. You can see it's been rotated. So in this one, it's going to be on the table, right? And what I'll do is let's right. We will. We'll still see it. It's kind of at an angle now. there's going to be... Okay, now, have I learned anything about like hand axes in the 20 years since I drew this? Probably. Okay, so let's look at it this way. This is like a hand axe, almost like it's trying to be a battle axe. The kind of axe you would get your hands on now is kind of... I should draw this on a separate piece just to practice. Index cards, keep them nearby. They're useful. Okay, so like an axe now. So the tops are usually, if there's like a bump there for the handle, not this whole stick sticking out. All right. You go like this, and sometimes you have it like go up like this. Then the back is kind of rounded out like that because you want it. It's also about like weight balance. So like for all the metal that you have out here, you want like denser metal back here because this is far less dense. But that keeps the weight essentially balanced around the handle. And the handle is going to be... Hand tools like to have this little... this little bump here where they sit in the palm of your hand. Of course, here's where that is, and axe. I just got to replace this with that. Oh, okay. It shouldn't be that bad. You know what? Sharp edges, thin lines. Uh, Problem is I do want it to like stick past this panel just a little bit. So is that a little too long for an actual axe handle? Who cares? Composition is more important in this case. Yes, and now here, put the little top of it there. Right. Yes, and that is the thick outline. Now I can detail with the thin lines because, like, yes, this technically will go like that. This will really, this long, the straight line of that is like I could put it, I could give it like the little bit of depth here because like this would be seeing it from, yeah, no, this actually makes sense. Hang on. We'll give it this little bit of depth. Then that goes behind the handle, and then it joins up in that as it thins out and goes towards the blade. It's just a little bit, but you know, a little bit can go a long way sometimes. So now for this bladed bit, I kind of want to do it like this, right? Because it does end up being this weird thing. Like it's this, it kind of gets like roughly worn down. Like it's smooth here where it's the original. Then you have the harsh sharpening where it's actually still kind of like coarse down to the fine smoothest edge. And I feel like a little bit back here in the corners. Just actually, yeah, just like that to give this sense of a dip. Maybe right around where the handle goes in case that's wider. Let's add some more in here. There you go. Axe. Thunk. Now that we have that in there, now we can come back and add the top of this, which will be angled a little bit up to where you can see that, right? And if anything, I should... Like, it might already be too late for this now, but like, if this goes in, it should have like little bits sticking up at these angles to be like, that's what got displaced. So like, maybe it's not too late. I can do like a little... Right. No, that looks weird now because that's not how it works. But I've done it. If I want to erase those lines in post, I can. You can do so much in post. Okay. This is about where the two change. Right, we said this was sort of here. Oh, if I wanted to show it more broken, this is supposed to be meant now, right? You know what? Maybe I do want this, like, put a piece up here. Yeah, that actually reads a bit better. So if here it was 7:30 when it first went off, click, time passes. This is... When I hit snooze on my alarm clock, it waits 9 minutes before going off again. I don't think it should just be 7:39 though. Also, what if I made it say like ouch or sorry? Like here, I think I could make it say like 7:39, right? Or it's 2 or 3 times that. Another would be like 48 or maybe 57. Okay, 57 you would be very late to school, so maybe not that. Um I'm replacing that whole thing anyway, so it's okay if I make notes in there. Yes, we have that. Right, we need the cord out the back. Can I just make it read X's? No, because then it would read like 3 X's, and that means something else. What about just OHNO? Can I do oh no? I could do ouch, couldn't I? Right? Because it's... Okay, again, careful. Oh? You? I like when technology has a I don't want to say when it has a little bit of sentience. Hey, was that the end of our list over here? Nope, we got plenty more. Okay. Um just like a little bit of anthropomorphization. Like I don't think this clock radio is, you know, self-aware enough that it should have the vote, but the idea that it says ouch when it gets hit with an axe, that's funny to me. And there were buttons on top. I could be putting those in cleaner. What the whiteout is for. Clean up a little bit. I mean, that's the other thing, right? Is it's a if I can do a good enough job in whiteout faster than I can do a perfect job digitally, then I'll take it. I feel like I've had to explain this a couple of times that like there's art skills for comic making is different from art skills for like fine illustration. If you want to learn to make things pretty, then learn illustration. If you want to learn to draw things fast, make comics. Getting better at making comics is about learning more and more shortcuts that still look fine. Um, and generally get you like further and further away from like I'm gonna say photorealistic, but like I am of the opinion that photorealistic should not be the goal of your art in the first place. Um, but like with comics, you're definitely not getting there. Or if you do, you are A, spending a whole lot of time and energy, or B, some sort of prodigy. Sometimes you just get prodigies, but we really cannot be like measuring prodigies as a standard to measure anyone else by. Here, so now this is the edge of the table. Gonna go like that. It's like I might have to extend the edge when I go digital to make sure it reaches the edge of the file that'll eventually get printed. Yawn in cursive is funny to me. Don't ask me. Let's see here. Let's use a little bit of tools just to, again, to get it good enough. Doesn't need to be great. We do want it to be good enough, though. I'm happy with myself for making that a silhouette. I think the idea is like, I guess he slept shirtless and he's carrying his shirt there. Oh, is this over here? Oh no, that's the old display on it. Right. I guess I put a tuner knob, but not a volume knob. There should be a volume knob too, huh? That this over here could be like a volume knob. It's not a good way to do that. I would not put them both quite like that on an actual radio, but for a thing I am lazily drawing, perfect. Right. I want to draw this bit because table. Technically, there would probably be like a drawer or something there. Who cares? That's better. That's better. And now foreground, background. I think this plays a bit better. Big, small thing up close, and then a more abstract thing over there. Finish laying out this doorway quickly. And then, am I going to do anything to really... How much do I want that doorway to overlap with this? Can I go a little wider on that doorway? Okay, I'm not really getting close to that. So yeah, let's make this not... Yeah, I can do it like this. This is fine. Because like there is an issue that if I make that go, and it'll create like a unfortunate tangent line, but this is going to be white on both sides. This is going to be shaded on the outside, so it should be fine. Should. Hey, um, this I had like sparking coming out of it. I still want sparking coming out of it. I do. Here's the weird thing. I do still kind of want sparking coming out of it. Have a little zip and zap to show that it's actively in the throes of electronic death, I guess. Zip zap. How does zip zap go? Zip zap goes like. So like. Now I'm just making silly noises. Remember when I said I was tired? Still am. I'm so tired. I'm thinking about the dream that I had the other night where I was playing like a version of Smash Brothers that I dreamed up, and I'm sitting here thinking like, yeah, I can't wait to play that again when I go to sleep, because in my dreams is where that exists, so that's where I'll be when I play it. Oh boy, fam. Okay, so this is him. I guess I am just doing the second page because I'm all but done with it. Okay. He's here. Start with the part in the hair because that's A, it's a V. Very easy to draw. B, it makes for an alright, like, landmark, I guess is the word. Let's go out a bit. The thing is, like, all of this is going to be filled in, so I can do some of my sketching in here. Because, like, I don't know. That'll help place that. Where are his shoulders? One shoulder's like over here because he's yawning. The other one will still be slumped over here. But also think about these is like, yes, there will be a neck in here somewhere. The neck's about here. The head is a little wider than the neck, so it does that. But if his head is that big, how tall is the boy? Like, here's kind of his spine. That's where the lower back starts. He's going to be wearing like PJ pants, which I find kind of stick out a little bit like that. At which point, then, yeah, we can just kind of put out. Because this will be kind of like this, and then it kind of comes out like this. This will be over here and kind of like that. Again, minding me that these all X out, which we get to break out the big Sharpie for filling in a zone that big. Like, technically, like, see, I would fill all of this in, but I think back here it'll be. Oh, right. I said I was going to here. If that's the doorway, probably top of this is like over here, right? If we follow like the back of this, I'd say like almost in line with that is where this back corner is going to be, a little past. Line it up at the edge of the page. Just sort of add those in there. And then because we are like this low, that is going to be a very high angle, and it'll be like, I don't want it to come out at the corner. What'll look better if it comes out a little less than at the corner? Right. So then these. There you go. And now that kind of, gives a sense of space to the rest of this, which like if I was really doing my druthers, maybe like a ceiling fan right here. And you know what? This dude has inset lighting in other parts of the house, so I bet there would be more inset lighting in here. Just not on. This would be kind of right where this is. Yeah, that's a sense of space. I like that. Okay. Oh, we're almost done here. I got to go to bed soon. This hangs here. That's an arm. Arms, when they're relaxed, like to hang back in towards the body. Also, that helps us keep the silhouette of the ponytail over there. And then, do you yawn? You go elbow really far up when you yawn, huh? Well, depending, or you go like elbow into your stomach, I guess. But that wouldn't read well here, so I want to go really like because you go like hand sideways across the mouth, right? Like if you go elbow to stomach, you're doing like hand upright. You're kind of putting your lips right here, right? But if you go this way and put your lips in here, then you're going really elbow out. So I guess we're doing like that. Which like I already put that shoulder up anyway because I had a feeling it was going to be like that, but then the shoulder blade sticks out a bit more when you do like that. So there's no door on this doorway. I'm also just noticing. You know what? I think I can fix that because this is a bedroom. He's walking out sort of into the living room. So this is like one of the innermost chambers, which means so I forget quite how this works. I want to say like because like for offices, you basically want every door to open towards the path outside. So that way, like if there's a fire, you could like elbow check every door until you hit the street. Whereas with living quarters, quarters sounds weird, but like yes, I want to say there's an element of like the front door opens in and then you keep going until you hit the innermost. So I'm going to say, since this is a bedroom, there's a door in here that opens. Let's see here. If it's over here, it would open like over here. So let's go like, I don't know, this way. And then it'd be upright. So it'd be kind of along here. And here. And then you would have like a doorknob over here, right? Solved it. Door. No, technically, this happens because of the way that it hinges. There would be a gap here. then like, I don't know, a little hint of the doorknob on the other side. Good enough. Again, space. Good enough. Space. You know what I do like? I like when there's like little heat vents on technology, like at a back corner. I'm just going to add some back here just because I like the look of that. Texture adds visual interest. And it can also be used to um, adjust the, depending on your texture, that is changing density, and density is a form of the positive negative space uh, balance, which affects the composition of your work. If a spot is too busy or too empty, that can make that part feel heavier. And you want to sort of, sometimes you want a piece to be empty, a piece to be heavy. So like we like to have very detailed faces because we want faces to be a focus. So we make them heavy with density and complexity and detail. So if you want to draw the eye, having one really heavy bit is fine. But like sometimes even in empty, like to me, this is very heavy because it is so empty, you know? But also like we kind of want that. Like I might actually fade this into black, right? Because up here we get this and we get the sound, right? So this is probably going to fade into black, which is so it's going to be empty on purpose because it's this empty versus that. So again, complexity, sparseness, but like divided half and half. And really everything happening down here is kind of like a second page, but I fit it onto the page. Whew, I don't think I have the vocabulary to really describe, explain, whatever that right now. Give me a Sharpie. Give me the fat Sharpie. Oh. I will probably use at least one other marker to shade this in, shine this in, not shine. But for the big middle part, and I'll come back with something a bit finer to hit the to get it up to the edges without messing up my outlines. But in terms of being rough and covering a lot of space, here's your boy. Right, and doing it. I'm filling this in. This is all. Do I want a little? I want a little bit left out there. Wrong pen. Oh, there's the Sharpie fumes. Oh, it's been a long time. Hello, ink fumes, my old friend. I've come to sniff of you again. I don't like the way that that sounds. This much black ink on the page, this is going to have to store this in a biohazard suit container, containment vessel. Ooh, vessel. Fancy words. You know what? That's fine. Like again, if I was really going hardcore about it, like I would leave a bit of ledge light on that shoulder so that way you could make it out, but I don't care. There's already an improvement on the original page. See, that's the thing that I actually really still have not decided about. Like the idea is I'm making these pages revisions so that way they'll go in the book and make the entire book feel a bit more consistent in terms of, style. Um, but I have not decided if these are all going up on the site. Like I I I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to just sort of like quietly slide these in to replace the pages in like the main archive. Then I'll have to add a separate section to be like, look at the original art for the early days or whatever. Um, and then it'll actually be nice because then it'll be like, hey, if you've never read this comic before, there's never been a better time to read it from the beginning now that it doesn't look like a middle schooler scribbled it together while riding the bus. Which, it's not derogatory. It's just true. Sometimes you can say the truth in a derogatory manner. I think that's a thing. You can certainly mean it in a derogatory manner, but like, what is inherently derogatory? This is not the time or place for that conversation. I'll think about that on my own, and when I come to what I feel is like positive actionable piece of advice on it, then if it comes up, I'll share on it. But let's just finish this comic page. So I don't know if it's coming up on the camera, but like doing the big fill, I don't want to, do 3 coats of this to make sure that it's all the way black. It'll be more than fine to just layer it down or level it down in Photoshop, so that way it's all a consistent level of black. But it is funny sitting here looking at the page, you can still see my my rough gesture drawings in the ink amidst the other ink. Okay, let's get something a bit narrower. I was gonna say something a bit narrower, but I don't think this fat pen. Oh, clicky. It's much finer. Will give me much more control. Oh, where'd the beat go? Hey, where did the beat go? Oh, there it is. Oh, oh. That was the worst DMX bark impression ever. I mean, again, I'm already going to be like leveling the hell out of these pages to get the blue out of here. Which, again, looking at the way that this printer printed it, there's a lot of black ink in the blue. But I can make do. I've dealt with worse. See, like, do I want to, like, put a little... no, because then you lose the... it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Like, I feel like there needs to be something under here. Like, honestly, having the ponytail, like, swish out this way would have probably been better. Is it too late to do that? Nope, I'm just going to do it. But then... Again, like I was saying, sometimes you're just using composition to adjust the busyness, the weight of page, the panel, the what have you. The piece. I need an even finer control tool for that. section. I want to even that out. A. Still clear on the back of my hand. I like working without pencil. Only for that reason. I do like pencil, generally speaking. Do I want to stretch that out there? Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. Now I need to clear that out. That's fine. You know what I have? Whiteout. Non-spawn, but listen, Bic, if you're out there, you want to give me a whiteout sponsorship, give old Uncle Nick a crisp $30 bill. Phones are open. Operators are standing by. And I'm talking way more than I thought I was going to be talking for the level of energy I had coming into this. I guess it's funny. I think normally I would be like trying to watch videos and letting that keep my brain busy while my hands just do the work. Yeah, that came out all right. Yeah, that looks better. A little bit of weird angle for the ponytail to be coming out as, but it's fine. Does it read like a ponytail? Not quite. Do I care? And what'll help? Some stray hairs. That helps. That helps. Let's cut that off. No, yeah, that looks good now. I touched the white. What was I saying? I think the part of like, keeping my brain just active enough to turn thoughts into stream of consciousness talking is taking the place of paying attention to videos. It is an activity for my brain in a sense that keeps it from thinking about anything real, anything that would be so real and interesting that it would be a distraction. You just gotta, when your own brain is like a kid and you have to tell your brain, all right, listen, our hands, mommy and daddy hands are trying to get some work done. So here, just sit with the iPad over in the corner. And it's just like, yay, YouTube. And there you go. Okay. That one. Here's this one. That's 2 pages. That's 2 pages. Hey, that's not bad. If you squint, they look a lot better than the original versions of these pages. They're now, in a roughly 8.5 by 11 format, so they'll be consistent with all the other pages. And they're done for now. They are re-inked. So again, I'm going to apply to these the same stuff that I would do to if I were making pages to add on to the end, which is basically I'll clean up, I'll do digital lettering, and then I'll do a single color shading pass, which is not just shading but also composition, adjusting, yada yada. And then but a lot of that goes pretty quickly. It's just on my desktop, which since my other camera is breaking anyway, I'll try and figure that out before I do that again. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with these. I'm pretty happy. Hey, that's good. Oh, hey, how broken do you think like our main window is. Yeah, that's totally frozen. Okay, I can fix that. Again, that's this one. Everyone, hey, thank you for hanging out with me this evening. I did not expect to get both inked, but success. I have what do you call it? I have a little bit of housekeeping before we get out of here. There it is. Today's Wednesday. Normally art streams would have been a bonus stream thing, not a Wednesday series, but while I'm working on getting this book done, yeah, why not? It's probably going to be like the third week of every month is going to be an art stream like this. So hey, if you enjoyed what you were watching, give us a follow here on Twitch, and you know, you'll get when it's live. How else do you know when it's live? We have a Discord set up, so even if you don't want to come and talk, I have it set up with auto notifications for when we go live on Twitch, for when Joe goes live on Twitch, who she is not. Producer Joe is not joining us tonight, but that's just fine. It also posts when stuff like YouTube videos and podcasts go up. Hey, did I say YouTube videos? Yes, that's right, because we have a YouTube channel. You can go over there and follow our YouTube channel, which is primarily like every stream archive we've done. This one is even going to end up there for whatever sort of a mess this was. But on top of that, there are occasionally things that go up there that were not live streamed. Recently, I put up a short form video design think piece. It's 2 minutes long. What are you going to lose? And I have once again finally gotten back to starting to doing pre-records for a new long play series, and that'll go straight to YouTube, so that'll be good too. And if you like all these things that are doing, please consider supporting me, supporting us on Patreon. I would love to do this as a full-time gig, but right now that is simply not the case. If I were able to do it, that means I would be able to spend more time making streams and videos and doing art like this. And if you were part of the Patreon, you could tell me what you would like to see more of, because then I would just get more time to spend doing this, because I love doing stuff like this. I would love to do this full time, and with your support that could become a reality. So if you do decide to go over there and throw in, that would be super appreciated. All that being said, I had a lovely time hanging out. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you had a good time too, and until the next time I see you, take care of each other. Have a good night, everybody.